Friends and family of MLE, fans included, I am staged and I am here to bring you the last match of the night on MLE 2 between the Express and the Hurricanes here in doubles. Joining me to be a lot smarter than me is Delta. How are you doing tonight, Delta?
Doing good. We just saw in our first match the Pandas with that 4-1 victory over the Wizards, and really a team that was expected to struggle in that wound up coming out ahead. Both teams though, for this one, much closer in the standings, just a single game separating the two of them. The Express coming in at 15-10, 3-2 in series. Hurricanes also 3-2 series, but a 14-11 record. Both these teams sitting in playoff position, Express in 5th in the conference, Hurricanes in 7th, second in their division. Hurricanes, with a sweep, can actually move into a tie for that top spot. Express, a bit out of reach there, as the Knights have been running away with not just the division, but with this conference.
So we're just going to have to see if the Express, while they are behind the Knights, they need to put a little bit of steam in the chamber. They need to get their engine started up and really start running away with this one. But my big question is, will that game plan be derailed, or will they be able to weather the storm of the Hurricanes tonight?
We'll have to see as game number 1 is underway.
Express starting this one off strong, pushing into the opposing territory. Privileged pair for the Hurricanes, taking it nice and slow. A lot of possession play there. Still having a difficult time getting away. A bit of bumping. And it looks like Privileged pair still going to play this super patient. This is giving me a little bit of reminiscence of last series there, Delta.
Yeah, that kind of slow early going, but Poobie going to put in that first goal.
Right, a bit of a double commit there. It's an unfortunate bump, friendly fire. And unfortunately, the Hurricanes here might be tied to the tracks in the first game.
Plenty of time left. It's still early. But obviously, you want to be that team that strikes first. You want to be the one that can really set the tone early on.
Privileged pair off the sidewall. Not going to find anything on that just yet. Great defense by the Express. Express trying to mount their own aggression here, but Privileged pair taking possession out of the backfield. Flying up, looks for the reset, gets a little bit of a tap before it hits the ground, but not a lot of juice. And Ponus points, oh man, I love that name. Ponus points, loses it, drops it back to Poobie, and Privileged pair puts it on towards net. A non-credible threat, unfortunately, as that bounces away.
Still keeping the threat going, but it is so far in the early going. Both teams with a pair of shots, though Squanchy able to tie it up, taking that in himself. Squanchy,
it comes out of the corner. This is usually a place where you don't expect there to be a lot of threat, but when you beat the defender like that, when there's no one at home, when you're forced to play so close on the near post, that means that Squanchy's going to be able to set up the equalizer here. The Hurricanes coming back in force.
But a quick answer, potentially no. Privileged pair able to shut it down.
Continuing to look for this one. Express having a little bit of a play on their backfield. They're struggling to get it into the net, unfortunately. Squanchy running out, trying to steal boost, leaving Privileged pair alone. 2-on-1 play, but that's a bit of a booming shot off the corner. Beautiful save, a lot of danger, but Privileged pair having no doubt of their own accuracy, even at 0 boost. Getting the half volley to keep this one in, contesting, but oh no, a failed half flip, and the Express will choo-choo-cha to the lead.
Just a failed half flip, leaving the net wide open for opponent's points. And just those little mistakes, those little technical hiccups can be the difference between being able to make that huge save and leaving it wide open net.
You know, Delta, how many times have you done a half flip? How many times have I done a half flip? It's almost innumerable. Privileged pair, nice little beat there in the close range as the Express give up their backboard, unfortunately. But it's so easy to make these mechanical mistakes even when you've done it 1,000 times.
For sure, that's the reason you still see, even at the pro level, even at the top of the top, you still see the Fields backflips, you still see that just because you're at that 99 point whatever percent success rate, you still have that tiny bit. You'll never be at that full 100.
Ooh, Hurricanes almost finding the shooting lane there, getting closed off by the Express's defense. Big counterattack opportunity though. Squanchy looking to go over top, just gets tipped away. Privileged pair looking for the net. Oh no! Just getting caught by the crossbar, barely into the corners, looking for more, but the angles are all cut off by Pubi. Express looking to have bonus points come up onto this one. So difficult. Pubi taking possession, takes it slow, flicks it up once, going to let that out to bonus points as Pubi goes into disrupt. But smart control by Squanchy, gets that one away, doesn't get the body out of the net. And this time Pubi forced to play defense, forced to go back and answer the threat of the Hurricanes. The Express now moving one more opportunity. A lot of defensive play, a lot of very solid goalkeeping from both these teams, really showing what Master League's about. But Express finally cracked that egg.
There is someone that says both of these teams having 5 saves apiece, but no 6th save coming out from the Hurricanes on that one.
Need to line up and find some kind of opportunity for the Hurricanes to break through the defense of the Express. Every time the Express are having it in their own territory, oh my god, that bumping play. That bumping play out of Pubi, he leaves the ball behind and just sends Squanchy to the moon.
And it seems like Pubi a couple times we've seen trying to go for these physical plays, trying to find the defender rather than the ball, able to get success on that one.
You need to find something more. The Hurricanes still struggling on this one. It feels just like they're being quite outclassed by the Express in Game 1. I'm wondering if this might be one of those proverbial download teams as the Express showing no sign of stopping. But oh no, a bit of an uncharacteristic whiff there, and Pubi's forced to play this out in the backfield, but there's so much room to play.
Yeah, and it's a difference really between having those misses lead to open nets and having them lead to just force clear into your own end, as that one will just go into the corner for privileged pair.
A bit of a tap in an unexpected direction, getting the roll up on the post. Those are tough to read.
Yeah, it's just a very difficult read there, a very difficult touch to find, as this one will get cleared out. Squanchy finding privileged pair back towards Squanchy, trying to find that last touch over the defender and won't be able to.
Back towards the net for the Express. Pubi's going to take control of this one. Strong defense from bonus points, but the Feels backflip, or maybe even a fake, coming out on this one, keeping it in front of the net. That one might just trickle in. Hero save by Squanchy, but even heroes can die as the Express find one more nail in this coffin.
And so often you have to make those hero saves because you are caught completely out of position. And when you're out of position, that does not mean you are going to quickly get back in. That means you will more than not stay out of position and allow those simple rebound goals.
Squanchy get a little 50-50 on here. It's one of the things that the Hurricanes have been doing a really good job of, is the 50-50s. They're not letting any of the clean shots through until the overcommits happen. Squanchy out on the wall, trying to defend this one out. I don't think they've got enough time here. It's going to trickle down to 0 seconds. Express will be coming away with Game 1.
And just a solid Game 1 victory there. Both these teams playing well. It just seemed that, the Express were the better team here. You see the shot totals really high for both teams. 10 shots for the Hurricanes, but 12 for the Express. Hurricanes, though, coming away 7 saves, 5 for the Express. Really, both these teams putting in the work on both ends.
You know, I don't even think it's necessarily the Express are the better team. I think they're just playing a little bit smarter here. I do think that the Hurricanes are a squad that wants to take more time to warm up, wants to take more time to kind of feel out their opponent. Everything about that game, everything about the tempo from Squanchy and Privilege Pair to me read as something where they're trying to get their feelers, put their tendrils into the Express and try and figure out how to gum up the works a little bit, how to break their rotations, figure out what the natural order is for this team.
It does seem that Hurricanes haven't exactly found the answer. We've seen the Express being able to, have that with Pubi going for some of these physical plays. We've seen this. It seems like the Express have more answers for what the Hurricanes have been doing than the Hurricanes have answers for the Express so far. There's still time for Hurricanes to find those answers, to find really that solution. It's only been a single game, and for them, it will come down to that adaptability that really is so key in any series.
Right, I'd like to see the Hurricanes trying to step up the pace a little bit, start challenging these a little bit earlier, maybe taking advantage of some of the 50-50s on here. That's what we're going to start doing here with Privilege Pair, taking this one out to the opposing corner.
But quickly sent back out, able to keep the pressure for a bit. Opponent's points just going to launch this one, like trying to push it on, just going to test the defense enough. And honestly, it is never a bad play to just put the defense, especially early on, to just kind of force the others to do the work. Is Prickly Pair forced, or Privilege Pair forced to make a save on that.
No, that's always right. If you can force them to use boost, you're always going to be in an advantageous position. Force the opponent into their defensive territory like the Hurricanes are doing here, and that means there's so much more room to work. Squanchy putting the work in, burning the defender with a little bit of bodying, and turning this one into the statement of Game 2.
Just a perfect bump on that defender and able to find the ball and the opponent's car really in the same touch, but a miss on kickoff will allow a second goal, and just unfortunate there.
That's a tragedy, Delta. There's comedies and there's tragedies in Rocket League, but the most important thing that you can do as a team is recognize these kind of things happen. You've just got to answer it. You've got to not get shaken up, and you've got to come back and move forward. The Express have a game lead. They can afford to give up some of these. They can't afford to make it a habit.
Now, and I was going to say with the amount of time left, 2-goal lead isn't much, but it is quickly. 3 is just a great challenge from Squanchy and a perfect read from Privilege Pair.
That's what this team has been all about so far. Didn't work out for them so much in Game 1, but that's what I said. Play off these 50-50s, play off these challenges, and get the reads, get the plays that you're going to be a little bit closer to. That's what this team is doing here in Game 2, as they make a dominating performance so far.
Yeah, it really feels like they've been able to really win all these challenges. Squanchy not able to get back to that one, shut down by Pubi, but it's been that challenge game that has really been their strength, and I think that is what's been their answer for the playstyle of the Express.
The Express here, pushing into the opposing end. Hurricanes on the back foot, have to get a chase down save. Nice stop in front of the net there. Pona's points playing off the backboard, forcing a lot of pressure down, but there's no answer for this one. Squanchy out to the redirect play. Privilege Pair not going to push this one in just yet, but putting the credible threat on. Squanchy taking control, gets the full boost. Backfield play off the corner. There's a wide open net in front. Is it on? Yes!
Just a great touch in mid-air to make things difficult. You see Plus Points just rushing back, getting so close, just unfortunately didn't have the time or the space to get there.
Strong cross-field play here from the Hurricanes. Oh, almost getting the answer on a kickoff goal, turning it into even season. But unfortunately, the weather not quite working out for the Express. The Hurricanes absolutely rocking them. Every trick of fate turning out in favor of the Hurricanes so far.
Yeah, I really wish I would go because I wanted to see how fast that ball was traveling, because that pinch, it was a missile.
Nice little shot out of the shooting lane right in front of the net. Takes it off of the ceiling. Pubis just reading that in the perfect spot.
Yeah, just perfect positioning. And that is such a key factor. That is such, really, we've seen so many times that difference being in that right place in the right time. And it's not just luck, it is skill, it is that game knowledge of knowing where you need to be positioned.
Hurricanes still with the lead. Express want to shift the momentum, trying to get a little bit of steam in the tank. But so far, it is still in their own territory. They might have found the punish, though. Finding the line, looking for the far post, rolling up, unfortunately. Oh, no. Privileged pair catching meat on that one. And forcing out to the midfield, at least, resetting the play. Poopy's off the ceiling, but it's not enough to put it on target yet. Just getting around the defenders, and now the crossbar is the biggest defender of all.
Yeah, opponent's points just low on boost. Really didn't have the luxury of getting into the perfect position there. Just needing to find a quick shot, couldn't set themselves up for a better one, and that was really the difference maker. There is that demo saving a potential goal. And the bump could lead to another no who would be able to recover.
Those recoveries are so important in twos. The more time you spend out of the play, the more time you spend getting demoed, the more time you're putting pressure on your teammate. However, bonus points is there to pick this one up. Kubi sends it out to Squanchy. Squanchy not able to trap it. That means Privileged Pair has to be the one on defense, but is a brick wall in front of the net. Bonus points has to retreat, leaving Kubi in scoring position, but it's a long way away from the ball, and the Hurricanes holding on to their defense, standing tall, and going to try for the counterattack here.
And just really, now as we get into these final 45 seconds with a 3-goal lead, now's the time when you can really start the park rush, where you can just focus on just trying to burn the clock, just win the challenges. And that's something that they've been so good, is these challenge wins. A double commit here could lead to an opportunity. Opponent's points not going to be able to get there quick enough to do as much, maybe, but no, will get saved by Privileged Pair. That likely will be it for this game.
I think you're right. You know, I want to change my read a little bit on the Hurricanes. I don't think that this is necessarily like a download team. I honestly think this is a mayhem team. They're forcing all of these opportunities where they get the breakaways. They're taking things when you draw them forward. This is honestly a football team more than they are like car soccer. They're a physical team. They focus on the cross-court, the technical plays. This is a nasty squad to play against, as we've seen it in Game 2.
Yeah, definitely a difficult squad to play against. But it's also, I think, one of the big things is this is a team that lives and dies by the 50. And you see in this game, they were able to really just dominate those 50-50 opportunities when they came. And then there you know we're looking at Privileged Pair, the defensive effort, 5 saves, nearly getting that double savior medal.
Right, that's almost a huge... It's a huge blow more than anything else to the Express's morale. You put up 7 shots, and only one of them's off target, but you only managed to get 1 goal the entire game. Meanwhile, the Hurricanes are squeaking by all kinds of open nets, just forcing you out on these counter rotations, and you're wondering, where did we go wrong? Why can't we do the same thing to them? It's because Privileged Pair is just constantly back on the rotation, recovering so fast, the Express have nowhere to go.
Yeah, Privileged Players, I mean, it's a player going this that we knew was someone to look out for. This was a player we've heard, great things about, and they're really showing why here, putting in that work and leading their team to that game number 2 victory as we head now a tied series into game number 3.
What's your expectation on the scoreline for this game, Delta, if we had to just make a guess?
I think it's going to be much closer. I think it's going to get, closer to the type of different goal differential we saw in game number 1, where it's, it is 1 or 2 goal games. I don't expect the Express to really be dominated again like they were in that second game.
You think this is a little bit of a vengeance play? Is the Express going to find the open net, trickling this one in on the transition steal?
And this is, as I said, it's those challenges you see here. Who be able to get the dunk and not getting a challenge out of Squanchy, and that's almost the difference here is when it's whether or not we're seeing these challenges forced on these balls that can be the 50s. If you're seeing just, you know, that better positioning in the air.
I guess that's what happens when you don't have Privileged Pair back in net. He's going to start the offense this time. Stolen away by Pona's points, a demolition. This could be another shot, but a little bit wide of mark. Looks like the Express let the pressure get to them. Stormfront coming in. Will the Hurricanes be able to get it out of their own side, or will the Express continue to put pressure on and railroad them to a loss?
Have to see Squanchy able to just stonewall the attack there. Squanchy, no boost, will have to play as well, and nice bounce, forcing opponent's points to really take their time on this.
Opponent's points beating one defender, getting that out towards mid. An excellent effort by Privileged Pair to keep it in the corner. Opponent's points has a great shot opportunity just wide of mark, but Squanchy would have been there for it anyways. Tough beat. I think that's an open net. And that will be one for the Express to take it away. Poobie putting up a great showing here.
Yeah, it was not an open net. Privileged Pair doing a great job to get back, but Poobie sticking with it, able to get that perfect dunk and able to double the lead to 2-0.
The rotations here seem to be falling apart a little bit for the Hurricanes, or maybe the Express have just found a way of starting to punish that, looking for when Privileged Pair is closer to the ball. But we've seen that several times now, trying to punish Squanchy when they're on defense, and now, nice air dribble, looking to fake the flip reset. Privileged Pair gets the counterattack at least on this one. Squanchy once again on defense. Will this be a bully play? You've got a man in the midfield, but Poobie not going to be able to read this bounce. He's going to just stay on the side of the Hurricanes for the moment.
And talking about earlier, as this shot though will not find the net, with those rotations, I think a lot of it's been the physical play to spin these demos. We've been seeing a whole lot of work done by Express, taking out the players on the Hurricane side, and that's why these rotations have been out of sorts. Because when you have a player now move first from the play and then forced into a better position, but here, no force there, just caught out of position.
This feels exactly like what the Hurricanes did last game. In fact, this is almost an exact mirror of last game. Poobie this time taking the corner clear into a follow-up shot. Really strong offense from the Express. These two teams are perfectly matched for the series.
They really are, and these are always the most exciting series to watch. It's when you have these two teams that really seem to be trading blows, that it seems it goes down to this war of who can get this consistent level of adaptation, but what a play as I talk about that.
All right, the adaptation, it's hard to adapt to a shot like that when you get the redirect, when that is a angle that looks completely impossible to shoot, but Squanchy is able to turn the impossible into possible here in Game 3. Putting the Hurricanes on the board. I don't know if it's going to be enough yet to get past the offense of the Express, but that might be the start to the mayhem that I was talking about the Hurricanes need to do.
It might be, and the start is all you need. You need to now continue it off. They had that first, and it's always, when you're breaking it down, making that 3-goal deficit into a 2-goal deficit makes it seem just so much more reasonable, so much more able to come back from, as that one just will not find the target.
Express still pinned into their backfield. Privileged Pair with a great 50-50. You said this team lives and dies by their 50s, and that's exactly what we have here. Privileged Pair going to try and recover, looking for the bump play, not going to come up with it, but Squanchy challenging now, takes the 50, looking for the follow-up as well. Poobie pushing it away for the Express, and now the shot incoming. It's going to be off-target. Privileged Pair there to trap it as well. Who needs boost when you've got a body? Privileged Pair pushing this downfield, being the biggest bully on the pitch. Poobie on the counterattack, getting beaten by Squanchy. This is, again, an insurmountable defense, but even with that, the Hurricanes have let too many goals by. They can't win just by playing defense.
No, saves can keep you in a game, defense can keep you in a game, but it cannot win you the game. And Pubi may be playing in the goal that will seal this game.
This deal is sealed indeed. The Express just finding an opening in the defense. We might see an exact mirror of last game. I talked about how it looks like the Express are doing the exact same thing as we saw the Hurricanes do last game, but even the scoreline looks identical, Delta.
It is. It's another 4-1, but no, a fifth goal will come in from bonus points.
Smart stuff playing on the midfield here. Privileged Pair couldn't get a big clear because of just the positioning, the placement of Ponus' first shot, and Ponus is more than happy to punish him for it.
More than happy indeed, as that definitely will seal it, and potential sixth goal, no. Squanchy does enough, but at this point, it's really just trying to play for momentum into game number 4.
And momentum's a huge deal as well. Like, despite the fact that the Hurricanes had a monstrous game 2, when you get beat this hard, when you've been coming off of like that positive momentum, it's kind of a moral blow. It's kind of something that you're a little bit concerned about here. But dropping down to the last 15 seconds, I don't think the Express here are going to be giving up anything more. It's going to be on the Hurricanes to find their adjustment, their play, and their morale for Game 4.
It really is. And we saw them bounce back well from game number 1 into game number 2. They will have to do so again for game number 4, as they are now down 2-1 in this series, looking to make that game 5 be for the series victory rather than just to try to change the deficit.
Right. Overall, the big thing about it is when you're behind and when you are a team that is this close in the standings. They have the same series score. They're off by 1 game overall. The Hurricanes have the opportunity, like you said in the pregame, of taking the first place in their division, but there's not any such stakes on the line for the Express. They have to keep racking up wins to have the chance of catching up to the Knights, and that is such a long way. It's kind of a incentive to play out of your mind like the Express have been so far.
Yeah, and even then, it's that playoff positioning battle and trying to get up in the seeds. You don't want to be, these teams that are just basically that are really needing to scrap for and fight for every single win at the end of the season just to stay in the playoff picture. You want to try to secure your chances as early as possible. And right now, this is that point of the season as we get into it where so much of it is, it's about putting yourselves into that position to secure your playoff spot as early as potentially possible.
But there's still a lot of Rocket League to be played. Still 2 games remaining in this series and many more series to come. Even if it's not tonight, the Express here lining up, going to try to seal the series on this game. What's going to be the Hurricanes' answer this game?
We'll have to see for them. They are hoping to get back to that mayhem that they caused in game number 2 to really get to those 50-50 wins that did, but that will not help. A missed touch and an open net for Pubi.
Oh, that is absolute tragedy. Reading that on the wall the whole time, but Privileged Pair, the sun got in his eyes. There was an earthquake. He couldn't see the ball. Someone came in, knocked on his door. That's why he missed that one.
Yeah. Just an unfortunate miss. Quickly needing to try to find an answer back, but Pubi once again sending it in, and that one will bounce off, and a save. No, bonus points will push that in.
Full send by Pubi. Airmail coming in. Maybe it gets left on the doorstep, but Ponus Points is more than happy to pick it up so the dogs don't pull it away.
And this is not what the Hurts are looking for. They need to get back to how they're playing in game 2. So far, this does seem to be a repeat of game number 3.
This is not what you want if you're the Hurricanes. They need to step it up, need to start bodying around, but Pubi and Ponus Points look absolutely indomitable. I say that, and they might find the breakaway here. Ball careening towards the net. Squanchy fast enough in rotation. Now going to start their own punishment. But Poobie fast on the turnaround and fast on the aerial win. Might be able to put some pressure down if not for Squanchy's heroic efforts to come flying across the pitch.
And Squanchy continuing those efforts, really shutting down any chance of a quick attack, and actually now will allow Privileged Pair taking this one in. Shoved off and into the corner. Opponent's points kept in by Squanchy. Privileged Pair just one more to beat, will not beat him.
Tough situation out in the midfield. Privileged Pair giving so much room and going to get burned by bonus points. Hello to the back of the net. Hello to the 3-0. And goodbye to Privileged Pair's goalkeeping.
And goodbye to that goal for bonus points as Poobie will come in and finish it off. Not 100% sure if that would have been gone in. It was pretty slow, but either way, that goal was really all made by bonus points.
It was completely unnecessary of Poobie, but a lot of fun to watch. Poobie out to his own back corner at this point, trying to take it away from Privileged Pair. Gets the strong clear and chase down into the shooting lane, but Ponus is a little too far behind, instead opting to punish and challenge now. Big pinch from Privileged Pair to score that clear, but it's nowhere near the net. Poobie once again off the corner, wants to make the threat happen, threatening the ground pinch, but a little bit too high up for it. Poobie still chasing it down, has the boost, looks for the double, off target, but past the defender.
And able to turn this into continual pressure, but a great interception from Privileged Pair will force the touch out of Poobie. And quickly back into the Hurricanes half, but not for long.
Hurricanes desperate for a goal. Privileged Pair caught on the wrong side of it. Didn't see that the play was still developing on the pass. Squanchy finds the connection, but here now forced to play backwards off the back wall. Chasing this one down. Not a lot of juice, but enough to beat a defender. Hurricanes need to push forward, trying to challenge this one out. They win the challenge, but not enough for the goal, and a breakaway for Poobie will just increase that lead even further.
Yeah, and it really seems now that, really since the end of Game 2, the Hurricanes have just completely, they seem like they've lost whatever was in the tank that they used up all their energy at the beginning of the series, because it really seems like the Express have just started to just keep on rolling, and the tracks do not seem to be disappearing anytime soon.
This rail's going directly through the eye of the storm, Delta. That's what's happening. There's no ferocity. There is quiet at the eye. But the question is, will Hurricanes be able to come out on the other end with some ferocity, or is it about to dissipate over land? I don't know the answer to this one, but it is definitely looking dissipated. I want to see a little bit of aftershock. Oh no, a save by Poobie. Squanchy still looking to chase this one away. Hero to the corner, and it's not enough. The Express still looking to try and widen that gap. The offense and their defense is completely untouchable this game.
It really seems at this point, though, that it will be unnecessary to widen that gap. It's a 4-goal lead into the final minute. He's really all but secure, barring a miracle. Squanchy trying to start that miracle. Poobie getting the save, and bonus points just going to bury that one in deep and just continue to kill this clock.
Express looking like a force of nature out here on the pitch. A lot of slow play, just really positional blocking. We talked about the 50-50s earlier on from the Hurricanes, but now the Express, they're happy to take these 50s because they're going to kill the clock, even if they're not perfect. It's enough to prevent clean touches, enough to prevent Privileged Pair from getting a big play, and enough to get Poobie back to the net to deal with Squanchy's attempt to dribble in.
Yeah, and right now, once again, Hurricanes just trying to get anything, trying to get some sort of momentum, something to work off of into Game 5, because it does seem like this game and this series are set in favor of the Express.
This feels like the in the Pacific Theater in World War II, there were a couple of islands that the Japanese had put soldiers on, and they didn't have the communication to tell them the war was over, so they'd stay there and fight it out with the Americans well after the ceasefire was called. And so the war might be over, but there's still one more battle in this series between the Express and the Hurricanes. We're going to have to see if the Hurricanes have any more ferocity left over.
Right now, it's about getting those wins. Even if you want to get as many wins on the board as you can, and this Game 5, they cannot just kind of accept the fact that they have lost this series. They need to still keep fighting as if this was forwarding. We need to see them get back to how they were playing at the beginning of the series. Even in Game 1 that they lost, they were still looking strong. It was looking like an extremely close series. Game 2, they looked like a dominant team. And since then, they've just seemed missing.
It seems like the Express just found their way back onto the rails. It seems like they got the read on them. Honestly, Squanchy and Privilege Pair, they're playing like a team, but they're getting constantly disrupted by the Express. And you've got to find some way of breaking that up, some way of avoiding it. And maybe the answer is to pick up the pace, to start being a little more evasive, coming off of the sidewalls and the corners more often, to make it harder to just body you out of the way.
Yeah, and especially because you have a player like Pubi who just loves to really just go at it physically, to look for those bumps, those demos, and that's really been a defining feature for this team as another early goal for the Express.
This is the same story as we had last game. A shot, a credible threat incoming. Privilege Pair comes up for a miracle save, trying to be the hero, but the problem is, instead of out to the corner, it tips directly up, and that is the easiest follow-up of Pubi's life.
And just so many of these, it's just kind of feeling like the players on the side of the Hurricane, they feel like they need to be the hero, that they need to make that massive play when they need to be making the smarter play, and for that, the smart play was to let it go. Not there, though. That is definitely not the smart play to let it go.
I'm going to be honest with you, Delta. I kind of think that they're right in their reads. I think they do need to be heroes at this point. You're down 2 goals in 20 seconds. The last 2 games have been disastrous. And this is looking on the same course so far. The Express are just railroading this into an absolute monster of a series. And the Hurricanes not showing anything for it.
They really are, and it just seems like the Express have everything figured out. They know exactly what to do, and it just, right now, I'm not even sure anymore with what the Hurricanes need, other than just cleaning up all of these mistakes.
Like right there with Squanchy getting a really awkward touch. Yes, he's taking possession now, moving this out of the corner. In fact, a little bit of play into the shooting lane, but that could have been so much faster if it had been a clean touch or a trap instead of this really awkward play. Privilege Pair there to pick this up, though. A little bit of overextension, a little bit of reversal onto the Express here.
And got a little help as well from Pubi, who I think winds up deflecting that one in, was trying to just get that physical, trying to take this one away, instead winds up sealing the goal.
Privileged Pair with possession in their own backfield. Over one, but stolen away. Credible threat, Squanchy has to trap. Takes this slow once again, looking to beat a defender, gets around one, looks for the cut inbound, flick up. Not enough. Pubi reads it, takes it away, and Privileged Pair will be the one putting up the equalizer goal here. I think the Hurricanes might have gotten angry.
Yeah, bonus points just caught too far back, too far off, not able to get back in time. The Hurricanes, they are angry, and they are here to try to win this game, to try to at least get this to a 3-2.
Squanchy pops it up once more, trying to give a taste of the Express's own medicine with the pop-up plays. Not playing out just yet, but Privileged Pair off the sidewall, punching it in towards net. Steals the boost on the way out. Will Squanchy be able to do something with this possession here, dishing it away to bonus points? Luckily, Privileged Pair is still there to hold on to it. The Hurricanes looking to take it out of their own back half. The defense looks solid so far. That demolition going to give a lot of room for Privileged Pair to work with. And he will hit send. push it downfield, but that is rejected by Pubi as he will put in the net.
And just the overcommitment by the Hurricanes we see. Privileged pair turning upfield, not staying back and leaving that net wide open. Pubi just has to put it on target.
Need to get a little bit more gusto, a little bit more power out of some of these shots here from the Hurricanes. I like the cut of their jib so far. Squanchy here. Listening to what I'm saying, putting a lot of juice on it. Privileged pair off the sidewall, barely off the crossbar. The Hurricanes, they are hungry for this game in the series. What a save by Pubi.
And just, stealing that one away. Looked destined for the back of the net, but Pubi able to just push that one off of the crossbar and out of the goal.
Privileged pair look us off the sidewall. Big pinch there from Pubi. However, Squanchy's already back to read it. Look at how much space is in front of Squanchy. What you gonna do with it? Takes it over one, off the backboard, trapped there. Doesn't look like there's too much more that's able to be done. Privileged pair taking possession off the sidewall. Big flip reset beat off the backboard, but this could be counterattack. Privileged pair has to rotate back. Beats it to the corner. Bonus points, doesn't have anything to do with it anymore. And this is back to a pretty neutral game.
It is, but Quick Strike potentially knows Squanchy's going to put that into the corner. And it really is, it has gotten into this really dragged out. A lot of battles being won and lost in the midfield. And we're really seeing both teams really trading turns with the pressure and with the control, but neither team able to do much with it.
One of the big things that I think we're seeing here is both teams are establishing control of the center of the field, not even necessarily midfield, but closing off the shooting lanes, forcing you to play down the corners, down the sides. It makes it very difficult to find these shot threats because the center is being so closed off. But there you go, Pubi finally finding one off the corner, able to sneak that one in for a ripping goal.
Yeah, I've got a little up at the end, Privileged pair, but it was either way. Privileged pair just... it's those situations where all you have to do is you just need to run into it, hope you can pop that one high, and that's really all you can do. You might get recorded as an own goal, but that is not an own goal in my book.
Not at all. That's a last-second sacrifice. Anything that we can do to adjust fate. It's the Oracle play. Privileged pair here trying to make up for it at this point. It's so dire for the Hurricanes at this point.
It really is. And when things have not been going your way for the last few games, even this 2-goal deficit can look like 20. And it is, you need something quickly. That one almost finds its way in for bonus points. Privileged pair, they really need to find something here and won't be able to.
Hurricanes need to find a way of stepping up the tempo right here, right now, but instead, bonus points with the counter-strike. I don't see a way back into this one for the Hurricanes, short of a miracle. I think they're going to give up the series, and I think they're going to give up Game 5.
Yeah, it does seem like it. 3 goals, 13 seconds. It's not impossible, but it's definitely improbable. And without a kickoff goal there, it likely is now becoming impossible, as the final seconds will tick down this Game 5. Express will take this Game 5-2, take the series 4-1.
So really strong showing out of both teams. I did like, especially, the Hurricanes of Game 2 were a team after my own heart. If I had seen that for 5 games, I would be immensely happy. Like, I would be over the moon. Instead, I'm just pumped over having seen some good Rocket League. But the Express turned this into their own show, their own story. They put it on rails, they put it on the tracks, and never got shaken one bit. So yeah, really strong showing from them.
For sure. It might take them a bit of time to really get going, to start rolling, but it seemed like once they got over that top of that hill, it was just down, it was just straight, ahead for them. And they really were just able to just maintain control and just keep that momentum going.
That being said, that is all we have for the night. Delta, thank you so much for being here with me. I'd like to thank MLE2 and MLE in general just for having us on the air. And I'd like to thank all of the sponsors and people that make this possible, including Balls Guarana, APM Music, and I'd like to thank, lastly, all of you out in the audience who have been doing such a great job of cheering on your teams, of playing in the league, and just being amazing to work for. Without you, none of this would be worth it for me. So thank you again. I think we're going to go ahead and host over to the mainstream MLE GG1. So stay tuned. There is still more Rocket League, just not on this channel.
Have a good one.